A word about animation and special effects in your PowerPoint presentations. If you are an animation, special effects, digital production house, by all means, show people what you do, because that is core to everything you're about. But if you're a typical business that really has nothing to do with animation, my recommendation would be skip the animation. The amount of time and effort it takes to create animation is often time that you should be spending practicing, rehearsing your presentation on video, and now you don't have time because what seemed like a simple little gizmo having a bird flutter across the screen took 2 hours. I'll never forget a training that I did in St. Croix in the Virgin Islands with an engineer at an oil refinery. He had an animation of a bird flying across the page to make some point, and at the end of his presentation everyone's like, wow, that was so cool, that was interesting, how'd you do that? And we talked about that, but then I asked another question of the group of trainees in attendance. I said, can anyone tell me what the point of that animation was? No one could. Can anyone tell me a point of substance from the presentation your colleague gave? Nobody could. They remembered that it was cool animation, but they didn't connect it to a point. So that's my concern. I'm not telling you never use animation, but be careful. It is going to be extraordinarily hard to impress your audience with animation because people are used to seeing Pixar movies and Disney movies and fantastic animation. They're used to special effects in James Cameron movies. So it's going to be really hard for people to be in a room, stare at a big screen, see your animation and be impressed if they're comparing you to great animation they see on their TV every night. On the other hand, if they're focused on you, your ideas, and you come across as a lot more interesting, engaging, memorable, and insightful than the speaker before you or after you, that's a comparison, that's a competition you can win. So be careful about animation. I find for most speakers, most of the time, it doesn't pass the cost-benefit analysis of the time you put into it. It also can confuse your audience and doesn't necessarily connect them to your messages. Time is finite. I'd much rather you spend the time on something where you know you can get a direct payoff, namely practicing the delivery of your presentation on video or working with the speaker who is going to be delivering it to make sure the speech looks and sounds great.